best threes team, the best twos team, and I really do think Daniel is just, he's unbeatable. I don't think he's going to ever lose a 1v1 in this matchup.
Well, it looks like it'll be Razebull that'll be the one up to the challenge, who surprised us a little bit actually yesterday, really stepped up despite we were worried going into that second 1v1 because we didn't know if Razebull was able to change things up, but had a different look. But saying all of that, it would be a disservice to Daniel to say any of that really ever means that he's going to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah, Daniel's dominance in ones, it just makes me think that all the any 3v3 and 2v2 needs to go Complexity's way for them to have a chance. I really am so impressed with what Razebull did yesterday to get Complexity into the final and to get them into the LAN already, but I reckon it's going to be just too difficult to step up, too big of a difference. Daniel is just by far the best 1v1 player in this tournament. He's not going to lose a game. But when it comes to 3s and 2s, scorelines tend to be closer, so upsets come more easily.
Yeah, and this is definitely where Complexity will feel like they can do their best work. Even then, Spacestation have been the team of this tournament so far. As Daniel didn't get the reset that time around. Forces AJG to move all the way back. I expect to see a lot of this from Complexity. They do like to just trust their defense, leave a couple of players loitering downfield. You can see AJG just getting back and not back in time. Arsenal turns it in for 1-0.
Daniel absolutely ripped this flick into the backboard. Did not have a long setup. Usually those big flicks have got a little bit of a wind up. He just pulled that one out immediately and completely caught the defense off guard. Arsenal bounces a shot into the open net.
Reminder as well, whoever loses this not out of the tournament, they will have all mid waiting down in that lower bracket. And that's not, I feel like you're up against Destiny in the form of all mid. I wouldn't want to be going over there against them. No matter who you are, you're the bad guy, no matter what. You're the bad guy up against all mid. Oh, what a shot! And the crossbar is all that's available to stop Complexity going down by 2.
It looked like a shot from Arsenal initially, but Daniel just flew out of nowhere to deflect it even more dangerously on net. Now Rettles is able to sweep up a Complexity attack pretty easily. Arsenal run on ahead. They're getting a bunch of pressure here, SSG, but they've got to keep an eye out for the counterattacks. Complexity love to linger downfield. They love to leave somebody lurking, and that's not a good defensive play. Arsenal and Rettles making contact. It looks like Arsenal was mainly to blame, and Shad is immediately able to capitalize on the chaos.
That is a fantastic play, right coming in. And just swept it past the defender. I love that complex.
Daniel.
I know, it's
just left Daniel in the dust.
Well, Daniel did what he had to do. You have to respect the shot, but even then, that was disgusting to turn that in for 1-1. Now Daniel's trying to get their own back. Off the wall, not the bounce that Space Station Gaming would have liked to have seen, although they do have options now. Complexity, the pass from AGG not good enough. The second one might be significantly better. Here's the question I've got for you, Johnny. If we were both predicting SSG to win this, how many minutes of Rocket League is Arsenal going to play?
All of them. I don't think they're taking him off the field, but
he's playing the ones.
How many games? I think that we are going to need just 3 games. You know, this is spectacular from Complexity, but I do still think SSG take this. Have to. Well, until Complexity take a lead in this game, I'm predicting SSG to be ahead. So obviously, as soon as Complexity take a lead, you have to reevaluate and think, well, they're good enough to hold on to this, but SSG are just that little bit better, in my opinion, in 3s and 2s.
Arsenal, what play that is, just gets past the first one, now needs the support. So Arsenal does have Daniel in the midfield, gets it over, and yeah, you can see the respect that was given to that shot. 2 players over at Daniel, 1 player on the goal line, all of them needed to make sure that that did not go in. This is scrappy now from Space Station, but they do have time. The wall, Razebull moves on in. That's a good first touch, sets up, and didn't find a way past Arsenal, who must have reacted incredibly quickly just to get into position after that first touch.
Complexity looking good here, looking lively. They're not afraid of SSG. That's never something you can accuse Complexity of being, and why would they be? They've eliminated SSG from major contention in the past. They've proven that when it gets to those high-pressure situations, they can produce their best Rocket League, whereas SSG sometimes a little bit more nervous. But I think at the moment it's just an evenly matched battle between two teams for the middle.
Pop down there for Shad. Maybe not the delivery that he would have preferred if he was going to try and make a proper play. Although the ceiling reset from AJG almost got there. As we do get Raiseball off the challenge. Rattles now back down. Can't find the follow. Actually does. What a recovery that was, but there's just no support. Everybody's so far back. Everybody's so low on boost and positioning of options. So we do head into the final 10 seconds. Rattles, can he get the solo play? Almost at the time. And AJG lands incredibly well just to get in the way of it.
Yeah, crucial. AJG was able to be goal side of that ball on the landing. Shot was coming through for SSG. Arsenal interested in keeping this alive, but he's not going to be able to. Overtime we go.
It's a good kickoff as well for Complexity. They've got time to set up. And to try and go low. This does feel must-win here for Complexity. As we go off the backboard, there's nobody around. Shad already on the way back. But Complexity do get to retain possession. And that touch from Raiseball actually almost gave him the option to move in. Instead, it was Arsenal off the angle. He might only play for 5 minutes in this entire series, so he's trying to make the most of them.
Now let's see, can Complexity make this interesting? I think everybody agrees they need to win this 3v3 to have a realistic chance. They have been impressive. That's always what we expect from them in any matchup. Doesn't matter who you put in front of them, but they've got problems here, and they've dealt with it well. 2v1 now, as Raiseball trying to run wide of Rattles. Rattles does so well, doesn't just get the save, but keeps this in a safe location. But hold on a second, another save was required. Arsenal deflects that one wide, but options for Complexity. They're lunging in quickly every single time SSG try and get it clear.
That was the most Rattles response I've seen to a 2v1 where he's the one. Just, I'm still going to try and demo you. It doesn't matter. I am big enough and strong enough to try and wipe out your players. We see even more off-the-ball demos. Arsenal drops down and it's immediately met there by Raiseball.
Again, Rattle's just so good at avoiding those bumps. He didn't panic there despite being in such a dangerous position. Effortlessly chips the ball to safety, and now Daniel leaves his opponent completely stranded.
Come on, lads, this is overtime for Arsenal. He was supposed to be off here 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, Arsenal probably complaining to his teammates.
There we are. He's upset. It's over.
That's his work done, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. Do Complexity pick threes again later on in this? For now, it is 1-0 SSG. It's the start that Complexity you were afraid of. I mean, they must have known that this was going to be an upward battle.
Yeah, certainly so. So Arsenal gets the winning goal, and I'm sure he is going to go and sit on the sidelines and enjoy the rest of this. So it's Complexity's choice at this point. Will they pick either 2s or 1s? You've got to imagine this going 2s. You've got Daniel on the field anyway, but you want maybe some ways of diluting that pressure, and yet we have got the confirmation through Raiseball, calls for the 2s, and it will be a 2s match up here, which does guarantee that game 3 will be a 1s game. And then we'll see what happens for game 4. That's the interesting thing on this one, actually, Johnny, is that in the previous series, we were guaranteed potentially only 1 of each game mode. But now with the best of 7, that we do need that 4th game at least, which means that whoever is there gets to maybe see, all right, we've lost all of these. This is the one we lost the least.
Yeah, well, they definitely want to just make sure that they stay as close as possible. You know, 2v2, much more winning matchup in this one for Complexity compared to 1v1. If they were to pick 1v1, because they know that 2v2 is coming up next anyway, and then they were to win that, suddenly it would be SSG's pick. So they'd kind of lose control of the series there. They want to try and make sure that they stay choosing what series is going to be played. So loser will pick after game 3, and if you've just lost a 1v1 because you've chosen that order of the series being played, you're going to be able to pick what's being played for game 4 and really limit how many choices your opponents get throughout the series as a whole.
So we go with the 2s game. Probably the one that we've got the least scouting on when it comes to all of these teams and all these players. We're going off what we expect from them mechanically, from them individually. But what we did see from the All Mid series previously, Johnny, is that mechanics isn't all that can carry you here. You've got to have that positioning, and you've got to have impeccable timing on the challenges.
Yeah, Retzels Daniel looked pretty invincible in 2v2. They had the synergy, they had the mechanics. Oh, but do they have a save here? Yes, they do. Rettles is in a bit of trouble, but Daniel saves him. And it's those recoveries for Rettles and Daniel that just keep their activity so high. That's something Complexity are going to have to deal with. They really need to pile on the pressure if they're going to make Rettles and Daniel work for this. But realistically, I think it'll just come down to the execution, as Daniel and Rettles are unlikely to make too many big mistakes here. Really forcing Complexity to work for every single play.
I think we just saw the dynamic there of Daniels and Rettles. Daniel went to the air, tried to do something fancy, and Rettles just destroyed it away from him, as we now see Rettles sets up for the hook shot if he wants it, and just took a little bit too much time. Daniel doesn't want to go for nets. We get the counter-attack to the opposite side of the field. Daniel instantly turns, gets rid of the danger, and just over a minute in, it's been primarily Space Station, but well done to Complexity just to hold on. Not really go up against too many bad situations.
I'm surprised to see Rettles shooting directly on target with that hook shot. I very much expected him to deliberately miss, hit the backboard, well, hit the post, so that Daniel would immediately come in the play with a nice angle by hitting it into the goalkeeper. He actually just made it harder for Daniel to follow up on the play, so maybe Rettles thought he could sneak it in. Complexity quick back to cut off the angle.
That's a great first touch there from Daniel, but HHG responds in kind. Bullying down that corner. Now Ray's ball, bit of time, try to go for the feint out, doesn't work. Rettles up against AJG. Can he get the outplay? It's instead set up for Daniel. What a play that was from Rettles. Chose instead to not add the angle. Now they've got the additional positional plays. But it has been consistent here from Complexity. Every time they're up against any sort of danger, they just get it to fizzle out, and they've done well at that.
Complexity, just like in the 3v3, holding strong here, but for how long? Daniel coming at them with a ceiling double attempt. It's deflected wide, but the boost has been stolen. Rettel sends it back into the middle. He's got a fast recovery. He doesn't need it. Daniel will beat his man and put SSG in front again.
This is exactly where they want this team. Rettel's so good with the setup. Ray's ball, who was already forced to stop moving, just couldn't get back up there in the air in time. Space Station Gaming, rocking and rolling. They know that they've got the ones game after this, the one that they are expected to win the most. If they get this, we're looking at very much needed reverse sweep on the cards, unless somebody can pull out something big, and that somebody will very likely be Ray's ball up against Daniel.
He's gonna have a monumentally difficult task, but it all starts here. Oh, AJG's missed the target, and he didn't have any follow-up there. He needed to put that between the posts, not into one. The timing of the arrival has to be on point in 2v2. Any moment too early, give yourself a difficult angle. If you're too late, you lose your opportunity. And that's why I think Daniel and Rettles thrived yesterday in twos. Hold on. Daniel in a bit of trouble there. Got dunked on. Now it's Rettles saving him.
Yeah, Daniel just didn't expect to be disrespected like that on the goal line. You're up against Complexity, and they do not respect anything when it comes to an opportunity on net. As Ray's ball, not a bad attempt either. HHG doesn't try and force too much power. But it is Rettles just guiding the ball out of his side of the field, and that timer is ticking away. A 1-0 lead. Pretty low for a game of twos, but it's all the Space Station have required so far. The defensive Complexity holding up. Now they need the offense. Ray's ball looks to try and set it up as, well, ran out of boost and ran out of options.
Yeah, Daniel controls the 50-50 now. Complexity trying to force some volatility, trying to bounce the ball into a dangerous position. Space Station's boost runs low, but they're, again, able to just neutralize all that pace that Complexity have built up on the ball. Daniel, masterful in the challenge game. Now just 30 seconds left, and with 1v1 coming, SSG about to essentially take a 3-0 lead in the series with a win here. It's crazy to say that, but that is just how likely it is that Daniel wins every single 1v1 he plays in this tournament.
Oh, Rettles wiped out, and Complexity fully aware of the situation they're in. Daniel pre-jumps, tries to get away from Ray's ball, finds the challenge. And that is what they're up against in the next game. One final attempt here from Complexity off the backboard. Rettles takes it away. AJG, though, fully aware of that, actually fainted out. tries to set up, raised ball. Oh, it's over the top of him, and that is game 2 for Space Station. And it does lead to a big question here, Johnny. Let's say Daniel does go ahead and win this one.
Yep.
Where would you go for game 4 for complexity?
Well, it's a tough call. I mean, away from 1v1, for sure. I think both 2v2 and 3v3 looked competitive. So it really just is up to them. I think they might just go for 3v3 to get the full team on the field and playing the game.
Maybe you can get a tilted Arsenal from the fact that he has to play a second game. Exactly.
Maybe Arsenal expected not to have to do any more work today and half fell asleep at his keyboard. But, you know, that aside, I think, you know, might be the game mode they go to for game number 4. The problem is, Space Station get to pick what happens in game number 5. So
yes.
It's going to be an extremely difficult one. They're going to have to beat Daniel in a 1v1 at least once to win the series.
Probably twice. Maybe.
It's not happening. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely twice. Sorry, I had to figure out the format in my head.
So
that 1-0 though just made me realize that as hype as I would be for a Freeze 1-0 series, you know, the 1-0 every single game, imagine it in this format.
Indeed. That's what you want to see at the end of the day. You want to see the exact scoreline all the way through so that Shogun can finally get his dream come.
One day it will happen. Anyone that wants me to stop casting, you need it to happen sooner because my bucket list will not be completed until then.
Razebull had changes of pace when he played 1v1 yesterday. He had to play against Alpha Cap 2 times. And he did a great job switching up after losing the first game to try and surprise Alpha Cap with a more passive playstyle. Still mixing in those early challenges, but I don't know if that's going to be something that probably causes Daniel too many issues. Daniel isn't really someone who has difficulty dealing with players who sit back and let him come forward. He's just going to take the ball off of sidewall, land a couple of flip resets, and send it into the roof of the net. It's just that easy for this guy.
Well, the best thing going for Razebull here is that this is not a best of 5 or a best of 7. This is a one-off shot here. Maybe you can catch Daniel by surprise. So far, very good performance defensively. Razebull's been like that all series long, but unfortunately, it's Daniel off the wall, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, Daniel knew that he wasn't scoring with that first attack. He set it up just to steal the boost away and to set up a wall play that Razebull could not defend. That was a 100% play for Daniel. He doesn't miss that. Razebull literally cannot defend it. That's why it's so difficult to beat Daniel in ones. He just sets up positions where he can only succeed.
Well, Razebull's going to have a bit of a chance here to set up. Goes for an angle and try to catch Daniel square to the ball. Even that one, Daniel pretty good towards the pinch, also alleviating some more pressure. As Razebull's got all eyes on the ball. Had to use the ears if you want to know where Daniel was. There's Razebull off the backboard, but the bump, and now the recovery. Daniel not going to be the first one there. Did not catch any boost on his way. Instead, Razebull, yeah, again, he did this so much the other day, but he likes to just use the ball to hide behind, and now he's got an opportunity off the challenge, and Daniel far too strong, but expect to see an awful lot of that from Razebull.
Yeah, Razebull trying to fake a flick there, then force a 50-50 underneath Daniel, but Daniel saw it coming, and he's so good at just waiting, never overcommitting in defense. To talk about how good he is at playing those percentages in offense. It's the same at the other end of the field as well. Daniel just knows what his opponent is capable of at any given time, but he's jumping early on this one.
Oh, I love it.
It's going to be a low 50-50 from Razebull. So well played, Razebull. Able to trick Daniel with a low 50. Just pretend that he's going high. Wow, he really controlled that one well.
I think this is the only way Razebull can take this as well, as he needs to fully trust in those mechanical plays. If you can get it off the wall, go for it. You're not beating Daniel with those little plays in the midfield where you've got to try and micromanage boost, see where the ball is, and deal with Daniel's shooting capabilities.
I think Razebull messed up the kickoff there. That did not look like a fake kickoff. It looked like he just accidentally stalled on his approach, and Daniel saw that. That's why he just chipped the ball straight on the net. And Razebull, after one save, unable to defend the entire net on the follow-up shot, which of course ends up in the top corner as Daniel's shooting accuracy continues to impress.
Daniel's just going to take a shot, force Razebull to do something whilst he goes to get a boost. This is the nice thing about ones, is that the more you shoot, the more you can just keep your opponent doing things that aren't something that you don't want them up to. So now Daniel sets up. He's in a great position for the hook shot. No real power on it, though. Back to the wall. Raiseball, he's got to just try and pick his spot here. How long does he think he can hold off against Daniel? That's going to be a nice position for him to be in. Takes the boost, needs to avoid the demo. Instead, he's bumped, and Raiseball, what a recovery that is!
He had to as well. Daniel is coming in hot. I mean, Daniel's hardly slowed down for a breather this entire game. Oh my goodness, Raiseball caught him though, and now he's got an open net. Just when you thought Daniel could run away with the possession, take it across the back of his net, he gets caught in the back corner. Raiseball took an inside line, and we have a tie game.
Just went for the torpedo down the inside, and it ended up working. It's Daniel wiped out. Minute and 42, Raiseball, yet again. Just keeps surprising us, and more importantly, keeps surprising his opponents. Good flick, and he's passed. 3-2.
Wow. Wow. What a performance from Raiseball. Just already, even if he can't close this out, this is already stunning to see Daniel in such a precarious position. And Daniel has not made the mistakes that he made when he played against Flitz yesterday. This has been a much better performance from him. He's been very close to his best. Raiseball right there with him.
Now Daniel off the wall. He's got to keep all eyes on Raiseball because Raiseball keeps switching it up, playing the ball, playing the car, doing whatever he can just to set Daniel off his game. Now off the wall, Daniel is going to go for it. Try to find the angle, but Raiseball far too good on the recovery. I'm sure we've seen multiple times throughout this game. And again, Raiseball's going to go for it. Reset!
Whoa.
Doesn't score it, though, and might have just been punished. But Daniel's recovery, for once, not good enough.
Yeah, that was the key there. Raiseball forced Daniel to land inside the net. Daniel had to wait with his recovery there. He bounced off the post. That allowed Raiseball to steal the boost away and continue to control the possession. If that shot is just a little bit slower, Daniel lands on the backboard and the counter-attack is on. Instead, we've got more Raiseball possession.
Yeah, and Raiseball, I'd be a bit surprised by that as Daniel didn't really know where he was. Fakes out the first flick. Raiseball, ladies and gentlemen, is styling in this one's game.
This is unbelievable. After what we saw from Raiseball yesterday versus Alpha Cap, I did not think he had another gear in him. I did not think that he would be able to step up and take down Daniel. This is so impressive. He is not just doing it, but he's doing it against a Daniel who looks like he's on his game today. Now, Raiseball messed up a wave dash there. That does concede possession and 100 boost. Daniel with the pre-flip will get one back. Surely, no, Raiseball saves that one as well.
Raiseball just, I'm going to say a little lucky there, the fact that Daniel didn't get that extra touch towards the end. Now Daniel still with 0 boost over on the side of Raiseball. 20 seconds on the clock. And for Complexity fans out there, did you really think it was going to be that easy? Oh, it was always going to be a nerve-wracking end.
And Raiseball just has to get into midfield play here. He cannot allow a kickoff possession for Daniel uncontested. What's he going to go for? Just going to go for the wave dash recovery kickoff. That'll at least give him time to grab boost, but Daniel will be next up on the play.
Daniel off the wall, first touch, didn't work for him. Just want to see if Raiseball would land in a position that could be demoed. Instead, it's now Raiseball controlling the pace, forcing a challenge. Daniel has to make the move here, and Raiseball, he knows it. He's staring him down the entire way, and Raiseball has won the ones game.
That is unreal. I don't think I've ever seen a ones match end like this, but there was nothing Daniel could do. He just wanted to pick the ball up and play the wall play, and Raiseball sat on the wall in his way the entire time, completely blocking Daniel's path to getting the ball up into the air. And that means that Spacestation get to choose the next game mode. And would you believe it? They don't pick ones. They've picked twos. Somehow, Raiseball...
They're not allowed to pick ones. That's the thing.
It
has to be threes or twos. So winning this game has actually flipped it straight to Complexity because they can now really settle down into their own style of game modes. They might only have to see one more ones game.
Man, that is next level. So just to clarify for all of you guys, the loser of game number 6 gets to pick game 7's game mode. So if we go into game number 6 with a 3-2 lead for SSG and Complexity can win that one, likely, I would think that we'd see a 1v1 because Daniel's just lost it, but I still think he's the best ones player in this tournament.
Now, time for an overreaction. The best NA ones player is from South America. There we are. Put that one in the books.
That was impressive from Racebull. Daniel didn't have the big mistakes that he had yesterday against Flitz, keeping that game close. He didn't miss a couple of open nets for no reason. He looked on his game. He looked fast. He looked like he was positioning well. Racebull just caught him off guard. That demo in the back corner to get the equalizer. And then attack after attack, which were working against Daniel's defense. We might get to see more of that in the 2v2 though, because although yesterday it was AJG and Shad who were playing twos, look who it is. It's Racebull back on the field, the complexity king of the day. Can they do it again?
This is turning into a match within a match. It's Racebull and Depp versus Daniel, as well as we've got Complexity versus SSG on the sidelines. And there'll be no human being on the planet with more confident than Racebull.
Oh, wow.
As he gets another stop. Now Racebull, 7 boost. Doesn't take it the entire way. It's now to AJG to really stand up against the attack of Daniel. Racebull says, I did it, and he can't get the stop this time.
Absolutely perfect execution from Daniel. Racebull flipping back to the net. AJG tried to get something on it, but unfortunately Daniel just too good with the air dribble bump. He waited so late to land it as well. It's difficult for Racebull to know what's coming at him. It looks like when you take it, throw another player into the fray, Daniel actually has more success. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but neither does how good Daniel is at Rocket League.
Racebull, good pass over to AJG. They might be able to keep this one going. AJG just slaps the ball away by Rattles. I'm so curious to see what we're going to get next. That is a confident pass to the keeper.
Back pass, as long as you say back pass, it counts. I have to yell back pass after pinching.
The moment you say it, it's everyone else's fault.
That was quite something from Racebull. He continues to play with all the flair and confidence in the world. Check out AJG. He definitely had Daniel fooled with that play. Fortunately for him, he left the ball behind. Racebull didn't. He's actually got some boost to play with here. Daniel deflecting into the corner. Racebull trying to infield pass to AJG, instead back passes to him. Slow play in the near post from Complexity. They've got that burst of pace available to them at any moment. Look at Daniel, so to see with the wave dash. Now, Space Station attack. Daniel, field to Rettles. It was AJG outplayed. And now, he's going to try and get a bump onto the last man. And he does, but Racebull also took contact. Both players bumped on their way into the center ball.
That was a two-headed serpent and still somehow doesn't quite guide the ball in. We've got a better shot here. The infield pass, AJG.
Oh.
That was an incredibly early jump. And AJG's going to take advantage.
Yeah, Daniel took a wide line here, expecting Rettles to be able to buy a little bit more time, but Daniel's pre-jump, not the answer to the slow and low shot of AJG. That's a great read from AJG. I mean, it looked like he mishit it, but actually he just predicted Daniel pre-jumping and covering the high shot.
Yeah, I love that as well, especially when you know you've got the defender who has to, is not in a position where they can react, they just have to predict. So just delaying the play, forcing them to move. That's a very nice way of going about that, and this has not been a very nice position for Complexity to find themselves in. To at least survive momentarily, but they are still under pressure. Rettles, what a good set, but the ball never came back down. And that means that he's going to have to settle for continuing to try and set up. Daniel waiting in that midfield, and that is the reason why you take the defensive posture. That ball can always just pop out where you least expect it. AJG from the ceiling. I don't think he's going to need the support, although that first touch really let him down.
This is getting interesting now. Close 2v2 once again. Oh my goodness. A very close.
There's a lot of those happening.
From SSG, that was risky in the back corner from Rettles. It clashes off the post after a strong challenge from Complexity. I just think, what do SSG do if they lose this game? It's their choice again. The loser of game number 4, sorry, picks the game mode in game number 5, and it has to be a different game mode than is currently being played. So they've got between 1s and 3s, but they've just lost the 1v1. They didn't pick 3v3. They had the option to. They picked 2s. So really, really interesting times ahead, but we've not got any time to think about that. Daniel, after Rettles' demo, just walks the ball in at the near post, and Complexity trail again.
It's the most simple play in the world. by Rettles, but he's just so good at it. Smash the ball long, chase it, and take out whichever player dares to hit the ball after you. It's simple when you say it aloud, but he's just so effective at it. And now it's Daniel off the double reset, doesn't get the power on the shot. Now we're going to see what Rettles can do defensively. Let's take the ball over. He's got it past AJG. Also takes it past the player, but
wow.
AJG, what a challenge. Can he turn it in? No, the lack of boost ends up costing him the chance for a goal.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He thought he could get there. He thought he could squeeze in the tight angle shot. I might get another chance here, but Daniel's going to close him down. Passing play now for Complexity, 1 and 2, and infield to AJG, but Daniel waits, gets the save. 30 seconds left now. Complexity need a goal if they're going to tie the series. And they're not going to get one. Rettles is close range pinpoint flick, and they're up by 2.
Just gorgeous. That really was just gorgeous. Top bins, and AJG has no chance. And maybe the same could be said of Complexity's chances of winning this game. Space Station answering back in a massive way. And for Complexity, they need something off this. Daniel does take over the ball, pops it past AJG yet again. Raiseball does have the option downfield. Instead, tries to go for the solo play. Has to get it scored quick, though, because that timer is running out, and that challenge by Rettles could very well secure it. Heck, this shot by Daniel could very well secure it. 4-1, and Space Station will be on match point.
Yeah, Space Station take it down in the game mode that they've chosen. They've won every 2v2 they've played. They've also won every 3v3 that they've played this weekend, but that, I think, might be the game mode that Complexity choose in game number 5. Of course, we're going to see both 3v3 and 1v1 in some order if we go to game 6 from now. But the order does matter, because the fact that Complexity are this far down in the series means that Space Station will have the game mode choice going into the last match of this series. But if Complexity are big braining this, and I think they are, they're picking 3s, that means that game 6 is guaranteed to be 1v1. And that means that SSG will have a very, very difficult decision, because they won't be able to pick 1v1 for game 7. That ace that we thought they'd have up their sleeve is gone because of the current order that games are being won in. They would have to lose game 6 in a 1v1 in order for us to go to game 7 in this series. That means they'd have to pick between 2s and 3s, and well, they just won the 2v2 after picking it, so I imagine that's what we would see. But this is interesting. We're going to see a 3v3. Then if we go into game 6, we're going to probably see a rematch, Raiseball versus Daniel, and I really hope we get to see that, because that was so exciting the first time around.
And now you know why I use Johnny Boy as my person to break down formats and overall points tallies over on the RLCS broadcasts. Thank you very much for that, Johnny. But yes, we do have our 3v3 game coming up very shortly, and Space Station have been dominant over in this. But as I can see Stack saying as well, Complexity's only lost one 3v3 this event. So take that for what you will. But unfortunately for them, it was close. They did lose it, though, and unfortunately, I would love to hear the comms from Arsenal. I keep talking about Arsenal here, but I just find this really funny that he's finally back on the field. Hooray! Also so Shad.
Well, Arsenal is a phenomenal teammate to have in comms with you, as his voice comms videos have and streams since the addition to that of Rocket League have proved. But great passing play from the get-go. Space Station have a brief lapse of concentration and defense, with Rettles trying to infield pass to Daniel, instead getting immediately intercepted by Shad. AJG slams it into the open net.
If anything, it was a very good infield pass, so we want to take the positives from that play. There you go. Raiseball now, a player that has been the most effective so far for Complexity. Didn't get anything from that one. Rettles now, first touch lets him down. Instead chooses to steal boost, and it's always going to be the best part about Rettles is that even if that first play doesn't go the way he wants to, he still knows what to do after the fact to at least maximize his time in the play. AJG turns the ball away, for at least for now. Daniel up against Shad. Shad comes out on top, but this is just suffocating pressure from Space Station Gaming. It is all up to Complexity to make sure they hold on to those boost amounts. Actually, just given some respect over on that midfield line. Space Station looks to go again.
It's a really nice team pitch there from Rettles and Daniel to create some chaos and to accelerate the ball rapidly into that corner. You never know what kind of bounce you're going to get. It can be extremely dangerous, especially for the defense when the ball bounces off that curved wall in the corner. Complexity have dealt with it well. They're right back into offense themselves. Rettles looks a bit awkward here. I think just jumping at that one to try and make it look like he had boost, which of course he'd be telling his teammates that he doesn't because he wasn't reaching that in a million years. Complexity trying to hand SSG their first 3v3 loss of the entire tournament today.
Daniel tries to boom the ball downfield again. Rettles has 0 boost. And coming out premium over there for Rettles. Raise ball, flip, reset, and Rettles has to respond quick. Love how Raise ball just disguises those. Maybe you can just wait a little bit longer, but he is waiting as long as he can to just make that decision between backboard or reset. There's complexity though, so usually the default is reset.
Yeah, Raise ball always the flip reset merchant. Arsenal called off here. AGG unable to stop Daniel's shot. And it was a banger from Daniel as well. He called this one nice and early. Arsenal was thinking about going for it himself, but Daniel definitely had the better angle from it. What a laser that is from the edge of the box.
We've been talking a lot about Daniel in ones, but it's been in the freeze games that we've seen the power shooting of Daniel coming to full effect. He has got his team back into this, 1 each. Rettles, plenty of time, chooses to take it down, sees Arsenal looking for bumps, and it's worked! Rettles walks the ball in.
Yeah, perfect play. Great call from Arsenal to inform Rettles that he is playing for the demo. That's exactly why Rettles just dribbles the ball nice and quickly towards the bottom corner, as far away from the spawning AJG. He didn't overcork it though. He managed to go just as far to the right as possible, while still making it a guaranteed goal.
Oh, good infield pass there from AJG to Shad. Instant shot and Raise ball. You could see just attacking the goalkeeper. Not going to have the same success as Arsenal did. Oh, that's a big whiff, and Arsenal didn't expect it. Can't run immediately onto the shot. Definitely a let off there for Complexity. AGG off the backboard. Can he find the setup? Instead, Rettles immediately just pushes the ball much further back than Raise ball can play from. This one, though, he can continue to play from off the backboard. Looks for the shot, and it's not on for him.
What a try, though, and they're still going to get another try. AGD tries to show him how it's done, and he does. Double tap Merchants on Complexity, but Raise ball, after missing his own tight angle effort, wraps back around, centers it perfectly for AJG.
Just all in on the recoveries. You cannot get rid of Complexity. Once they are up and rolling in offense, it is almost impossible to get away. As you said, double tap Merchants, but it did work. 2-2. Complexity 3 on the bounce. They are to send themselves through to the grand finals. Reminder again, all mid, the surprise package of the tournament, are currently waiting in that lower bracket finals. That will also be a best of 7. As the demo plays coming out currently for Space Station, where they found the majority of their success over in offense. Over into the corner, Arsenal. Back over to himself. This is Complexity setting up, though. Space Station know they need to try and get rid of this pretty soon. Raise ball, good challenge. Shad lands right underneath it. Doesn't have the boost to follow up. And we go back to the midfield as Arsenal tries to set from the corner.
Yeah, a bit of a giveaway there, though, from Arsenal. And honestly, a bit of a giveaway right back. And Arsenal does much better with that one. Daniel nails the shot. But second time of asking, Arsenal actually finds the pass to perfection. The speed of Daniel on the way in as well is just unbelievable. What accuracy in the bottom right corner.
It's just clean. Every single Daniel power shot just clips either the crossbar or the post. You cannot ask for more, because even if there's a defender there to save it, it's still so difficult. And now Daniel shows the other side of his game. But on the breakaway, Raise ball tried to pre-jump the block. He has got it. Minute left. Couple of boosts stolen. Opportunity for Complexity to try and respond in kind into the midfield. Raise ball's around, and he bundles the ball over the line.
You just can't cut these guys out. They don't know what give up means. Raise ball just lurks around in the box, bumps Daniel, and then just barrels the ball through 2 defenders in at the back post. Such chaos, but chaos that Complexity are thriving in.
We're seeing very different styles of goals scored. One of them has been incredibly clean. The other one has been just in your face the entire time off the bump. Couldn't find the ball dropping down in time. Again, complexity. Well, all that resolve, they're going to need it. They need the next goal, and they need to defend against Daniel, who for once did not have the backboard play. It's not a position, though, you're going to want to try and test Daniel too many times.
Complexity staying alive in the series for now, but they're the team who have been having to come back. 1 goal down, equalizer. 1 goal down, another equalizer. Will they be able to get their noses in front? Arsenal past 1 with a mind game, past 2 with a mind game. Shad shuts the door on what would have been an embarrassing end to this series for Complexity, but it's not over just yet. Demo coming through. Daniel flicks it into the crossbar.
And it was exactly the play that Spacestation would have dreamt of. That is the one that they've drilled to perfection. And for once, the shooting wasn't on. So now Arsenal comes in again off the reset. That's so much power!
Oh,
and that's off the post and out.
Yeah, Raisebolt was not ready for Daniel to, or rather for Arsenal to launch that ball off the reset towards the top corner. Now Rails is thinking about lurking downfield, actually backs up as Arsenal calls him away from the passing angle. Bit of back and forth now. Complexity had a bunch of scares at the end of regulation. Now they've got a chance to send us into game number 6, that 1v1 rematch. Surely, you'd have to imagine, between Daniel and Raisebolt. And then who knows from then on what on earth SSG would pick for game number 7. And they don't want to go there. They'd much rather finish this right now. Let's give Daniel a day off from 1v1.
And Daniel now on that backboard. Just guides the ball all the way to the other side, and Raisebolt just forced to stare as Rettles was starting to charge him down. Got there just in time, however. A minute into this overtime. AJG off the angle shot, and Rettles had to react incredibly late. Saw Daniel off the backboard. Maybe wanted to see whether or not his teammate could get it, but now it's Daniel once again looking for the backboard shot. Something that Complexity have shut down over and over again. Raisebolt up against Rettles, now off the backboard, and it's a great clear.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. But there's one more coming through. Raisebolt rattles the post. Arsenal defends the follow-up shot. Complexity's piling on the pressure now, just like SSG did to them in the closing seconds of regulation.
It's just an offensive symphony at the moment from Complexity. They refuse to go away. Finally, a bit of breathing room here for Spacestation. And a mistouch. Out back by Arsenal to Daniel. Sets up HHE pre-jumps. And that's how you deal with Daniel. Make sure you get the player up there so he cannot set up. Rettles off the wall. Looks for the player. Who's there to follow? It's HHE.
Daniel dissuaded from going on target with the pre-jump coming towards him. That's what Complexity are trying to do right now. Just play the ball away from SSG. They're not worrying too much about putting it on target until the net is undefended. Daniel temporarily in a 1v2 now. He's got Rettles for support, but AJG pre-jumps to save. And once again, we enter midfield play.
It's just, you can feel the swing every single time. It's not back and forth. It is one team taking the chances, and then the other one gets to take their chances. That's a very midfield pass. One that was not met for the longest time. GG up yet again, been just bossing the aerial battles. Bit of time though. Daniel's the one that's going to get it. This is the perfect position right now for Spacestation with the right player on it. Setting up yet again. Raisebolt avoids the attempted bump there from Arsenal. He escapes very quick. Now the pass to the corner. Raisebolt steals boost. Can't get the infield pass as well. 3 minutes of overtime played. And it is Daniel with the booming clear to Arsenal. And Shad yet again. What another phenomenal stop that is to keep us going.
And that looked like a guaranteed goal. The speed on the counter-attack there from Daniel and Arsenal somehow met by Shad, who predicted that one, sat back, deflected it into the crossbar. And now,
Arsenal still bumping.
30 seconds in, we continue in this overtime. An overtime that would win SSG the series and send them into the grand final.
Raisebolt back to Shad. It's going to follow up here from Complexity. So the midfield challenge from Rettles is crucial. Keeps SSG in the driver's seat. Well, the lack of boost turning up for Daniel does not help. Now Shad goes the entire length of the pitch. Almost found the block. Raisebolt to finish it. 2 players over. And the double commit required just to keep the ball out.
Shad air dribbling. And I think the ceiling was air dribbling as well for a brief moment there with Shad. He drew out every single SSG player, but I mean, you got to triple commit on a play like that. You just got to throw everybody in the way of the ball. They might have to do that a few more times if Complexity keep firing the type of dangerous shots that they have been on the SSG net.
Daniel now back to the corner. Shad can't take it off him. So it is cleared away yet again. Shad just getting rid of that pressure a little bit more. Both of these teams, they have not been cookie cutter at all with the offense. We're seeing all of the different types of ways that you can maybe set up a goal, but none of them have been able to beat the other players. Here's the infield, back to Shad. Has options to the left of him. Couldn't get over to it though. A full court squeeze happening now from Spacestation. Back to Daniel. He's had so many of these chances, yet that second touch just keeps laying him down.
Yeah, wave dash fail there from AJG as well. Just gave SSG an extra touch on it. Now it's back to Complexity. Well dealt with by Razebull. He's got AJG on the left-hand side, but Retals shuts him down. Shad has to wait. Retals receives Arsenal's downward pass. And in a brilliant game number 5, it is SSG who advance. Arsenal completely snipes Retals on the approach. Assist of the day. And it is SSG in 5. On to the winner.